Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a balanced rack, but it's a non-bingo-y rack. I'd like to clear out some of these higher scoring tiles and certainly get rid of the U if I can. I think cubage is good, keeping the Y. I don't feel that's optimal. KG is good, keeping BU. I could play Yug or Guy. Gorsey, possibly. I could play Buy, keeping Cage. And I think I will do that. Can I do better? The C and the G not really synergetic, but the B and the C not particularly synergetic either. It would be nice to play off the G and the A with this. Let me have a think. Can I do better than this? What about Yuga, keeping BEC? Just not sure. I'm going with Buy for 16. Not a great pickup. I've got the Q and the U likely to be blocked. If it's not, I've got Quag. So this could be a changing rack. I don't have an I for Chi or Chin. But if my opponent provides an I could have one of those, and with a T, I would have Cat. And with an I would also have Sink or Sank. So not a great start for me. I don't feel that Buy was the best move. But I need to focus on this rack, and it's a tricky one. However, if there's nowhere for the Q, I may consider changing. And if I don't change, I think I'd probably like to play off quite a lot of tiles to maximise my chances of drawing a U or an I. N-Cage is good. 20 points for my opponent. No new floaters provided. Nowhere for my Q. So is there anywhere for N-Cage? I don't think there is. And this board is quite tight. Nothing I've got goes in front of YA. I'm changing. So, definitely dump the Q and the G and an E. I think Kane is quite a good rack leave. I'm keeping this. Fantastic. I've got Corson, Corneas, Carnos, Earcons, Narcos, and possibly something else. So that's worked out quite well. Canoers. And there are places to play them. Buy takes an S, so I've got column 10. So Canoers or Carnos down there. Canoers down there. V takes nothing in front of it. I've got Narcos and Den, which does get doubled. I have probably got a play in column 3 which gets doubled. Well, there's Narcos, but I'd like to find a play which doesn't place a vowel in row H. And it would be nice to place the C next to AVE or get the C doubled. So Carnos gets the C doubled, but it's has the vowel problem. Earcons, vowel problem. The same with Corson. Okay, there's a problem with all of them. So what about going one square lower? I could play Carnos here. Or Canoas. I think Carnos, because then my opponent may be tempted to put an S on the end and it doesn't take an S. So Carnos for 77. Wow, great pickup. I've either got a bingo straight away or should have next turn only the one vowel. So what if the blank was a vowel? Nothing with an A. Nice bingo by my opponent and 2 new vowels for me. My opponent's slightly ahead. Can't see anything with an A or an E or an I or an O or a U. But I'm only looking for 7s. So let me extend my search for 8s. And before I do that, I'm just quickly looking to see if there's anywhere amazing for my X. Now, what about column 8? Do I have an AX play? If I've got an AX play keeping the blank, it's likely to be better than a bingo. Can't see one. Okay, so do I have a bingo with this rack? I haven't seen one yet. So there's the floating E and I. Let me look through the alphabet and see what comes to mind. So I'm keeping in mind E and I. Gosh, nearly 6pence. E and I. I feel like there may well be something here, but I've not seen it yet. X plants through an A, no A available. And no L's available. Now that looks promising. Can't see anything. Nothing there. Expirants through an I and an A. Only 12 minutes on my clock. It's been a slow start to the game. I've had some tricky racks to consider. I was delighted when I saw this rack. I thought I was going to be bingoing, but actually it's trouble. I was thinking about playing EX, but then I'm setting up a nice AX play for my opponent. 5-letter play. I can't see anything which places the E underneath the E of prairie. "12 minutes on my clock." What about a play in row N, getting the X tripled? Can't see anything. So what about just playing Pox for 24, keeping the best possible rack leave? I'm going with this. Great, I am definitely bingoing now. Prairie takes a D and an S, and By takes an S, so I've got plays in columns 10 and 13. In particular, I have got I'm just looking for any example. Lionettes. Okay, Lionettes available in column 10. I could play Onlyest across here, and it's tempting to play it fast to help with avoiding time trouble. So Onlyest for 77. Is there anywhere massively better? Well, possibly a huge overlap of few Mets, but that would take quite a while to consider. I am behind. Yeah, I'm just going to play this. Pretty horrendous. Pretty horrendous. 6 vowels. So the obvious thought which occurs to me is to play Uoi, E-U-O-I, keeping D-E-I. I can play that in column 11. And I can't see anywhere else great for that. Now, column 2, a nice little lane for starting to the left of Rave. And for this go, my D can go there. But I can't see a 5-letter play beginning D. That's a shame. That would have scored quite well. But there are still quite a few tiles which can go in that spot, so it may be something I can do later. Uoi also plays in row N. Great, my Uoi spot remains available for 13 points. And I draw the second blank, and that's a pretty good looking rack. The S hook for By has been taken out by Uoi. Onlyest doesn't take an S, if does take an S. So if I have a 7-letter bingo ending in S, it currently plays in column 13. Let me have a look for one. Well, let me just see if I can see one. I think I may have slayed, as in sleigh bells, through the E of Uoi. Feg for 20. Great, the if spot stays available, and that's beginning 1 square below the top row, so I'm not opening a triple, and my opponent's taken out the floating E and U. So if I can find a bingo ending in S in column 13, the board will be pretty locked up. So let me do that. Heidages. Great. Let me find something better if I can. And the problem with Heidages is just putting a premium tile, a power tile, a 4-pointer next to a double word square. So not seen anything else yet. 9 minutes on my clock. Still nothing else, but I'm going fairly quickly. I could be missing things. Okay, I'm going to get Heidages down for 80 points. Not a great rack leave, but I've got a 100-point lead, so I'm in pretty good shape. Tivy is good. That would sort the rack out. The problems with this rack are the duplicate tiles and the V and the Y. The Sea of Carnos is really blocking up the top left of the board, which is good. Now, what about row H? If I had something ending CY, it would score quite well. And I don't. Or anything which played there and played the V and the Y in any position would be quite good. But I don't have it. I haven't seen anywhere for TV. The obvious spot to play is row A, ending in R. And I'm not sure about Yitter. I don't think that's good. In fact, I can't see anything great across there. I've got tighter, T-I-T-E-R, but that's keeping V and Y. I've got nothing in row B through OH. I'm thinking about playing in column 9. 8 minutes on my clock. I'm only 80 points up. And this board is completely locked down apart from row A. So what I could do is just play V-I-E-R. I'm just wondering about T-Y-T-E-R, but I don't think that's good. Or what about a play of just V-I-E down here for 12 points? I'm going with this. Okay, that's quite a nice looking rack. I'm 91 points in front, and I'm basically keeping the board as dead as I can make it. Now I've got Itchy. Great, that stays available. Itchy and Titchy. Itchy better, because there are fewer bingos ending I than T. 51 points is a great score. Rack leave is good. Now let me just take this back quickly. Do I have a bingo with this rack? Adds takes an E at the end, so my opponent's opened a bingo lane in row F. No, I can't see anything better than Itchy for 51. Not great, but it's balanced. With a rack leave of TEA, there's hope for a bingo. But I don't have one. I, T, H and Y, not great floaters for my opponent, not great tiles in themselves. And there's not much freedom as to where they would appear in a bingo. I've got an E for going on the end of ads. So I'm likely to play in row F if that remains available. I've got a 120 point lead. Column 5 also a possibility, ending with the Y. Great, only 6 points for my opponent. He hasn't opened up anything new. I can now play in row F. So I've got Atok. 15 tiles left. I've got Boke. What's best? It would be nice to get my B or K on this triple letter square. I don't think I can do that. And I'd rather not place a B. Well, I can place a K here because nothing goes in front of it. So have I got a 5-letter K word? 5 minutes on my clock, 15 tiles still to come. A tricky set of tiles, and all I'm looking for is candidate plays ending in E. I think I'm just going to play bake for 26. Probably not ideal. But it's okay. And it kills columns 4, 5 and row F. So it does kill all the bingo lanes. The only problem with it is sticking the B under a double letter square, a double word square, but that's only going to give my opponent a better score than he otherwise would have achieved for a non-bingo, and he's 130 points behind, so that's not hugely helpful for him. It's not going to help him win the game. Only 11 tiles in the bag. Let me look at the vowel situation. 8 out of 18, so fairly balanced. Now, I've drawn the Q again. This time I do have an I to go with it. I don't have an A for cat and ma. 2 A's to come. I can play chi in row N, chi and oi. Oi takes an N, oi takes an L and an S after it. All the L's have gone. Only 1 S to come. And the score of 31 points is pretty good. So since I'm more than a bingo ahead, I'm minded to play that. Is there anywhere else for my Q? Great, only 12 points for my opponent. He hasn't scored highly off the B. And I think I will play chi. Chi for 33. Not great, but not bad either, as the game draws to its close. I'm 150 points ahead. The board's fairly locked down. There's row O available for something like Stonia, but that's not going to be enough for my opponent. And if he does bingo now, he'll be emptying the bag. And with a J still to come, I can't see my opponent bingoing twice, which is what he would need. And even that may not be enough. Looking to my own rack, it's not great. And there are a few places to play on the board. Okay, nice bingo for my opponent. That could have been worse, actually, because there is an I unplayed, so my opponent could have had a bingo making chi as well, so I've avoided that. He scored 80 points, he's 70 points behind. I can see what tiles he's got. He doesn't have a bingo. He's got the J. There's nowhere great for the J on this board that I've seen. It can go in front of AI, but I can't see a play ending J because there isn't one. So what I can do is Goa for 28, which is pretty good. Now, can I go out with Riot? Possibly not. So, is there an alternative? And Goo doesn't play. It has to end with A. 3 minutes on my clock. Okay, I'm not going to be able to play 4 tiles in column 14 because I don't have the tiles to go after ED. The M's available. So Goa doesn't look like it gives me an out in 2. 2 minutes on my clock. I'm wondering if I can make a play in column 14, which gives me sole access to column 15, because OH takes an O. I could play rot. Well, this is proving quite tricky, and the game is won. So I'm going back to seeing if I can find somewhere for Riot to go out, and then if I can find somewhere, it may be worth playing that first. G can go between Y, A and I. That doesn't help me much. This T looks quite useful. So Torot is good. But then I forego the Goa spot. I'm going to go with Goa. I like the score. And I'm really have run out of time. But I'm sure there would have been or there was an out in 2. Now, is there anything through the M with the M in second place? Don't think so. Anything ending AI? No. Anything ending AN? No. So I don't think I can go out with this rack, which is disappointing. However, I've got the O. I can play Rot for a decent score. Ah, well, I can now go out. I can play Tyro or Trio for 17. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game, which he does, and the final score, 362 to my opponent, 474 to me, a winning margin of 112 points, so a pretty big win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. Gorsey was good, and therefore I think that was probably the play, and possibly KG better than what I did. I'm not sure. Not a nice rack for my opponent. He plays Donna. I change, and I like that. All of these plays keep the queue, and the scores aren't big enough to make that better than changing. Opponent plays Ave. I have a great rack. I play Carnos, but not there. I wanted to avoid placing the A next to this double letter square, so I dropped 6 points to do that. May or may not be the right thing to do. Anyway, opponent has Prairie, which was a good spot. So, did I miss a bingo here? No, I didn't. L6 sexed. Nice. 47 points. Very good. What did I do? Pox for 24. Keeping a better rack leave. 23 points better? I don't think so. Opponent plays Fumet, and I played only as pretty quickly, and I think this justifies that. There was nothing hugely better available. Opponent plays Paul, and I played Duoy at E11 for 13. And even though I could have scored 15 more points, I think DEI is a lot better than IIOU. Maybe not 15 points, but maybe close to that. And if it's close, I prefer the play with the better rack leave. Opponent's rack. He plays Fag, and I have a fantastic rack. Wow! Hydage is the only bingo. Gosh, I zoomed through the alphabet. I thought there'd be quite a few. It looks a pretty promising rack. And I thought there also might be something through double E or GU. But Hydage is the only one. Opponent has rollers and re-rolls. Nowhere for that. Plays roll, and this is a rack I struggled with. Vice H1 for 30. Yep, possibly. Ivy at N5. No, I don't like that. Opening up row O. So what I did was was really killing, absolutely killing row A, offering nothing and retaining the Y for score. So there's definitely strategic merit in Vi, but I don't know if it's best. Opponent plays ads, and now I have Itchy for 51, which is great. At this point, I'm only 50 points ahead, so Itchy puts me in a very strong position without offering very much to my opponent. He's got no vowels, so he's in a grim spot. Plays Milt. Wow, Koa M1. Okay, pretty good. But I was taking out row F, which was a bingo lane. And I did that with Bake for 26, and I was also taking out bingo lanes in column 4 and 5. Koa may be best because I may be so far ahead that I can survive a bingo and therefore ought to be just hammering at the points. So I don't think Koa would have been a bad play and may have been a better one. My opponent doesn't have a bingo. He plays and now I have Chi at N6 for 33. That's just what my opponent needs. He's got Snorted and nothing else. And I have Goa at M1. Agorot C2. Yeah, well, that would certainly have guaranteed the out in 2. But Goa 15 more points. Opponent plays Jet, and yeah, C3 were the only 2 outspots with Tyro and Trio. So pretty exciting game, fairly high scoring, and a nice open board. You can see no ladders, it's spreading out towards the 4 corners, so some good racks to consider. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.